What's going on, guys? King Raven here, coming at you with another video. Today I'm in the Raven lair, aka my bedroom, and we're going to do a top 5 video. This top 5 video I got actually from watching another YouTube video. Top 5 watches that you wear the most. Now, let me premise, this is not by any means my top 5 favorite watches. I'll probably do that on another video. This is top 5 watches that tend to be worn the most. Now, this was hard for me because I'm pretty good at rotating my watches. I like to rotate different ones, different styles, different colors. I color match a lot, so all of this plays into it, but I usually rotate. But even with that said, I can sort of narrow down top 5 with an honorable mention of the watches that tend to be worn the most for one reason or the other. But before we get into the video, let's do a wrist check. What you think? I'm wearing a Raven today on my shirt too. But let's do a wrist check. This is the Spinnaker Long Island watch collaboration. This is a limited edition watch. This is Mark over at Long Island did 50 in the black and 50 in like the white dial. I have number 45 in this black gray with the Papa Blue watch and everything. I love it. I love Spinnaker. I love Long Island. Mark does excellent designs. Spinnaker does excellent watches. They both do excellent watches. I have several models of both. You've probably seen several. You might see some more. Spoiler alert. So, let's get into the top 5 watches that probably get the most wrist time. And let's flip the camera around and get into it. Okay, guys, this is the top 5 watches that I tend to wear the most. Now, these are not my top 5 favorite watches, although some of these might make that top 5 favorite watch list, but these are top 5 watches that tend to be on my wrist more than some of the others for one reason or another. Now, this was hard, like I said, because I tend to rotate my watches very well. But if I'm honest, these are some of the ones that I will grab more often. We're going to start off with an honorable mention. The honorable mention is the Dorenzo DRZ03. The reason why this is an honorable mention is I have not had this watch as long as some of the others. So this, just spending time with this watch, would be on this list if I would have had it longer. This is a Swiss-made watch. I love this watch. I love the way it looks. Love how they did a dark bezel, and then it starts dark, goes lighter, draws your eye into that dark center. I love the way they did the date complication to where it's right above the 6 in a little circle, so it blends in very well. You still have your 3, your 6, your 9 indices, and you still are able to get the date. And it sort of echoes that sort of like the Renzo logo right up at the top. I just love the way this watch looks. So this watch would find its way on this top 5 list of watches that I wear the most if I would have had this watch longer. So let's get on to the actual list. Actually, I think I'm probably going to set this watch right up there just for a little background. Okay, so first up on this list is the Long Island watch, or the Islander watches, ISL07. This is a Seiko homage, but Mark at Long Island does these watches great. He changes it up. He makes it his own. He uses a lot of the parts, but there's nothing wrong with that. I think the designs that Mark comes up with over at Long Island Watches are some of the best. I love them. I have several Long Island watches, and you know, always on the lookout for more. They're just excellent. This has a black bezel with the orange dial, white indices. It just pops. I love it. I'm a huge orange fan. I love how the chapter ring is orange as well. This has an outstanding bracelet. Lots of adjustments. There's 3 micro adjustments. So this fits well. It wears well. I love the looks of it. This finds its way on my wrist a lot. So this would make the top 5 watches that find their way onto my wrist. We'll leave this one right up here. Okay, next, like I said, these are in no particular order. The next would be the Philippe Wavemaster Mother of Pearl dial. The Wavemaster watch is a big watch. I love it. It's thick. It's chunky. It's got a bracelet that's got anglers and different. Each pieces of these move. These are not like links linked all together. They're independently. And I love, there's no taper. This bracelet is the same thickness all the way. A lot of people like a good taper. I've got lots of watches that taper and everything. They're great, but I love it when it's this. I think this suits this watch tremendously, having a no taper, and it wears great on my wrist. I love the way it feels. Phoebus is another one of my brands that I really love. I have several models. I love the way they did the date complication down at the 6 o'clock. So this watch tends to find its way on my wrist a lot. So this is one of my top 5 watches that find their way on the wrist. The Phoebus Wavemaster Mother of Pearl. Okay. Next watch that finds its way on my wrist a lot is the Spinnaker Dumas. I have 2 Dumases. This is an older one that came on a mesh bracelet. The mesh bracelet is just a little long for my wrist, so I didn't really like the way it wears. I got a strap code bracelet that fits this watch, and it's angular, so it really matches the angular of the cases of this watch. So with this strap code bracelet, this makes this a watch that I tend to wear very much. I love the way it looks. I love how like the indices are on a ring that actually sits on top of the dial, so it gives it some depth. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. Yeah, you can see how those are above the dial. They're raised. The Spinnaker does excellent watches. The Dumas, I love the styling of it. It is a bigger watch, and on this bracelet and everything, it's a, you know, it's a chunky watch and stuff like that, but I don't have a problem with that, even me with smaller wrists. Really, if you complain about the weight of a watch, you need to work out more. Watches don't weigh this much. Yes, this has a little weight to it, but if you put it on your wrist, it's not going to inhibit you. It's not going to slow you down. If it does, you break out the barbells and everything and start doing some bicep curls, because a watch is really not that heavy. I love the actual toughness of this, the overbuilt. So this makes it onto my wrist a good bit. So 3 watches down, the honorable mention, the Allender ISL07, the Phoebus Wavemaster, and the Spinnaker Dumas. So echoing a lot of the stuff that I like about the Dumas is my Seiko Samurai. Now, this Seiko Samurai is on a strap code bracelet, very similar to the bracelet that I put on the Spinnaker Dumas. It's very angular, which matches the angular of the Samurai's case. I'm not a huge fan of the standard Seiko bracelets. I do love these strap code bracelets. They give lots of micro adjustments. They fit well. They look well. They're just excellent bracelets, and it goes with this Seiko Samurai. This bracelet makes this watch so much more wearable, so it finds its way on my wrist a lot more. I love the ocean wave dial, just like the mother of pearl Phoebus up there that has the ocean wave. This has a blue ocean wave. I love the way it looks. I love the way the hands are, the indices. This is just one of my favorite watches. Look at the knurling on that bezel. I just love the way this Seiko does. The Samurai is a classic. It's one of my favorite watches. This would probably make my favorite watch video. We'll probably do one of those, but it finds its way on my wrist a lot because of the way it wears, the way it looks, and it goes along with a lot of the blue clothes that I wear, so I tend to color match. This watch finds its way on my wrist a fair amount of time. So, getting on to the last watch on this list, like I said, no particular order, but this watch is the Zelos Black Tip. I love this watch as well. This watch wears very well. Look at the bracelet. Look how they did this bracelet. It is awesome. Lots of adjustments. You don't see adjustments. Why? Because the adjustments are built into it. It's one of those no tool adjust on the fly. It's awesome. That's one reason why this watch finds its way on my wrist. Besides the way it looks, the way it wears, I love this Zelos Black Tip. It is a stellar watch. This probably would make my top 5 on my favorite watches, but I don't know for sure, but it sure is on this list of top 5 watches that I tend to wear the most. So this would round out this list as being one of the top 5 watches I wear the most. So, quick recap. You've got your Zelos Black Tip. You've got your Seiko Samurai. We're coming in with the Spinnaker Dumas, the Phoebus Wavemaster, Mother of Pearl, the Islander watches ISL 07, and the honorable mention of the Dorenzo DRZ 03. These by far are some of the watches that find their way onto my wrist the most. Tell me, what watches do you tend to wear the most? Do you rotate, or do you just sort of stick with one watch on a regular basis? I'd love to hear down in the comments. Please follow me over on Instagram at Shield Arms. If you like this kind of video, like, share, and subscribe. And this is King Raven. I'll catch you in the next video. Y'all be safe out there.